Means pause on the things you love, but green means go. Among nectarines are
Sweat. How's it going? My day is okay. Just a kind of a quiet Sunday. How are you doing? Fabian Perez. Hello, how are you? How are you doing? Good, good to hear.
Look on dollar.com to get a lower rate. Why did you pay my house? Oh.
Let's see.
Light box.
This. What's going on, guys?
Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it. Home of the legendary Nate. That's funny. Dan Goodwin, what's up, man?
Shockula, he has appeared. That's a cereal. Yes, it is. He is Shockula, not Chocula. Respect the Shockula.
I heard chitter chatter about a Young Guns 3. I wonder what they would do, considering the last one wrapped up the story, basically, except to bring back Billy the Kid running around not dead, but still stays dead as far as everyone knows. Young Guns 2 is one of my... We were talking about this. We were talking about Westerns the other night. Young Guns 2 is one of my favorites. funny that somebody mentions Young Guns because this is the soundtrack to Flight of the Navigator, but it's the same composer, and he actually uses some exact musical themes in both movies, like note for note, exact musical cues. I remember listening to it and going like, this is the soundtrack to Young Guns and vice versa. That's funny, Montoya. But yeah, it's funny how the composer, who is it? Alan Silvestri, uses the same musical cues in parts. Patrick Pearce, how's it going? I'm going to get out all the pages to this thing and put them in order. We're going to look at the entire thing real quick, right quick. There's the Young Guns theme in there. Let's see. I'm just trying to put them in order. I haven't exactly been drawing them in order. And so I kind of have to figure out, because I have to intercut the pages where, you know, I go from the fight with the guys. They take out the trio of idiots. And then they teleport away. And then we cut over to the girls that have the severed dick in the jar. So they're gonna chit-chat with each other. They show that they've got it. And then they pull it out, start smacking it around, start doing things with it. Meanwhile, our heroes teleport to where they're at. Monster guy shows up, slugs the guy, just trying to mentally put it in order. I thought I actually had a page that I don't have here. I think I was only working on it in blue line. Anyway, let's do a page count right quick. I don't even know how many pages I've done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. All right. The goal is whenever the story's done, I don't have a page count. I think it's going to hit 40. So page 1 is the recap of how everyone got to where they're at. Then our heroes are plotting their next move. Our guy gets his Shatterstar swords. Then they look and see that a bunch of bad guys showed up to take them on. Ronin, Bobitch, and Killsnap. So we have to fight them, blow away the robot. Ugh, pardon my hiccup. Blow away the robot. Bad guys are picking themselves up. Bobitch shoots a couple of arrows, which they duck out of the way and catch. Our ninja guy dives at the girl, slashes her sword in half. Ninja guy's gonna take on Killsnap here. Killsnap jumps at him. Our hero guy punches him in the face, slices both of his arms off. Slice, slice. Killsnap is none too happy about that, and so Ninja guy stabs him in the dick. gives him a stern talking to. And Kill Snap is like giving like a raging, ranting, I'll kill you, I'll cut your balls off and stuff them up your nose. And then so Ninja Guy just cuts his head off. Bo Bitch is awesome, right? So then they've got Bo Bitch all by herself, and they basically give her the opportunity to give up and get lost. This is what our guy down here, our cable stand-in character, he's like, look, fucking get lost. So she bails. This is where our cable stand-in gets out his phone. It's going to be a Star Trek communicator, and activating their transportation beam, but Ninja Guy grabs a communicator and says, no, I don't want to go there, we got to go find my dick. And they screw up the transmission, and so they teleport away, and it screws up the teleportation coordinates, so they end up where neither one of them wanted to be. So then we cut from there, abandoned warehouses, because that's where all kinds of cool stuff happens. Dollface is the name of the girl. She shows up. She's got the dick in the jar. This is the introduction of it. She's like, hey, I brought that gift you wanted. And there it is, all jarred up. And they're looking at it going, oh, gross, you actually did it. Let's take the thing out and look at it. It's gross. And I haven't finished this page because, well, I just haven't. But they slap it around and see that it still functions, and they're like, that's disgusting. Why is this turning us on? They're like, I don't know. They start making out. While that happens, our heroes teleport back where neither one of them wanted to be. And Ninja Guy, he's feeling something happening to a part of him way off with the other girls, and he's freaking out. He's like, wait, something's wrong. I can feel this. This is not good. But behind them, teleportation portal opens up. Out comes Red Coyote. He shows up to mess everything up. Slams the guy in the face, sends him flying. That's why he slams into the tree in the background, so our cable stand-in manifests his gun, shoots at him. Red Coyote shatters the gun, chops at cable stand-in guy, chopping all his gear off. And he's sitting there cackling about how easy it is going to be to defeat him. Socks him in the face. Ninja Guy picks his ass up. He's like, all right, enough of this shit. So Red Coyote's like, all right, yeah, let's go. But then, exacerbated look on Ninja Guy's face. He's like, wait, I can feel things happening. And then we're going to get onto a page where the girls are doing unspeakable things to his severed dick, and he can feel it. He's like, stop it. No, God damn it, no. So anyway, that's Rob's story. That's not quite half of it, but that's my dumb parody so far. You're turning me into the Comics Code Authority. You should. This is not fit for human consumption. Thanks, Jeffrey. But yeah, there's, I gotta wrap up the naughty scene with the girls, and then once they're done, then our Ninja Guy can actually continue fighting. It's going to be a brutal fight between him and the Red Coyote. And then the cable stand-in and Ninja Guy will show up to where the girls are and get the dick back and stuff a grenade up one of the girls and blow her into pieces. And then they walk off into the, the sunset, happy that they got his dick back. Issue 2, the sew on. Stitch it back on. I need this thing. I gotta know if it's still gonna work. The castration files, right? The journey home to reattach. You know, I've thought about sequel stories to this, and none of them involve the guy that got his dick cut off. I don't really have anything to say about him anymore. The whole gag was his dick is missing. But I kind of want to do stuff with the cable stand-in and just kind of have him run into all kinds of versions of other characters and just see what kind of crazy scenarios I can get them all into. I don't know. I've got ideas for potential future stuff, assuming there's any reason to do that. Like if I do a crowdfunder and it's successful on any level and people want to see more, I have ideas. A whole Youngblood knockoff team. That's a possibility. For real. I'm gonna have somebody like viciously and horrifically torture and murder Troll. Because I'll never get to see that in a comic, but I want to. I need to. I need to see Troll die. I am so sick of that character. And he doesn't even show up anywhere. He's nowhere, but I hate that character that much.
Booking.com has stays for absolutely anyone. Imagine you're a musical obsessed couple. You book a dazzling hotel room at Big Apple. 5 stars! With a balcony for your big solo. If Broadway Fox can find their perfect stay, anyone can. Booking.com, Booking.yeah.
I think I was working on this page on a different live stream, and some chucklehead asshole jumped in and proceeded to tell me and everyone else who was in the chat that we're the reasons why women don't want to be involved in comic books is because of stuff like this. It's my fault that women don't like comic books. Because us guys are over here drawing images of a couple chicks sucking off a still functioning zombie cock. I can't see why anybody would have a problem with that. All those ratchets doing OnlyFans. Hey, I'd do OnlyFans at this point if it made me money. But ain't no one want to see my shit. You know what? Maybe I should just do it anyway, just to prove the haters wrong. You're at a con and heaps of love for the printed floppy book? See, I like to hear that. That, you know, printed comics get some attention.
I am inspired by kindness.
I think originality is about having passion and following that passion.
Media insecurities, not abiding by any rules whatsoever.
Called it original because we were the first.
Montoya. I know what you're talking about. That's hilarious, dude. Thanks, Jeffrey. Montoya, you want to ink some of these pages, but then you never get your stuff done. I know what that's like. Like, there's so many things that I'd like to try this, or I'd like to do this, but goddamn it, I can't fart around if I've got projects waiting to be done. There you go. Michelle? What? Oh. You don't park there? Oh. All right. Oh, Shocula had a cover commission coming up? You're talking to me, I assume. I've been chatting with Danny Bedrosian from Parliament Funkadelic, and he's got his comic series that he's doing, and we've had some conversation about me doing some work for him. We haven't like finalized it, but it looks to be pretty solid. You know, at least a cover and maybe some interior work, a little bit. I mean, I'm not trying to get distracted from my own thing, so you might see if I can't squeeze in a couple of pages.
Johnny Ott is having a party, and you're invited. Johnny Ott, voted best singer, best show, best headliner.
Ryan Gracie, wait a minute, this isn't He-Man. That's true. I finished He-Man. It's that project is over. I made 6 graphic novels and spent years and years on it, so it was time to try something else. So now I'm doing this weird adult content story. Yeah, I'm going Hollywood. I wish. I want some of that fat Hollywood money, though Hollywood's tanking on its own anyway, so. My brother can make his own shit. I don't have an exact answer on that. There's not like a completion date. I mean, I want to make it done as soon as possible, and I am working on it, but, you know, it's going to be a couple of months out for sure. Fall, maybe. So tell your friend to be patient. It is on its way.
On the right, I start to plan my next. Fill it. I don't think so. Valve. Wake up in the morning and I raise my weary head. Got an old coat for a pillow in the open last night's bed. I don't know where I'm going, only God knows where I've been. I'm a devil on the run, six-gun lover, gambling in the wind.
Oh, I'm having fun.
I'll make it famous. When you're brought into this world with this single sin,
Well, at least they gave me something. Didn't have to steal, I have to win.
well, they tell me that I'm wanted. Yeah, I'm a wanted man. I'm a ghost in the stable of a table, table just to catch me if you can. I'm gonna call me young gun.
Yeah, these retracings of old submission pages I did. It's like they look terrible. My thick, crappy inking and all this stuff on the pages, but then I just kind of retraced them to repencil them and kind of sharpened them up and tightened them up, and I don't know, I kind of like the way that they look. I've done 2 of the 4. Oh, I was submitting to Top Cow back in the 90s. This is me when I was like 18 or 19 years old. So yeah, I did this page and then this one. And it's not that good though. Like, I took a lot of bullshit easy ways out. I just chose a couple of face shots to do. I put them in a forest because that's easy to draw. This image of this girl was referenced off somebody, so I kind of referenced the face. So, let's see. So yeah, like I said, I just traced them, the inked pages, and just repenciled it and kind of tried to sharpen it up and give it a little bit more detail and change the metal texture on her outfit. You know, just to see what I could come up with. So that's page 1. And then page 2. Like, I kind of don't mind the angle that I chose here, for example, way back when, but again, tightening it up and rendering her metal differently, giving her hair a little bit more flair, just tightening up the details. How do you draw two girls kissing with no photos? How do you know I didn't have photos? Because I absolutely cannot draw. Drawing two people kissing is really hard. Like, it's difficult. You know, I didn't really like this drawing too much on the original, so when I traced it, I sharpened it up and everything. So they kind of look like nice, clean, generic, half-assed Cyberforce pages. Yeah, I wish I had live studio models. That would be an adventure. So right now at the moment I don't have any of my Dick in the Jar comic pages to work on. So I thought I'd bust out and work on the trace. This is page 3 of that old submission stuff. And it's the weakest of them all. This is the one I like the least. But I was just gonna retrace all 4 of them. This is page 4. There's some okay stuff here. Again, I was really trying. I was like, I'm gonna submit these to Top Cow. Of course, knowing what you know now, there's no way they were gonna, I'm not showing an array of backgrounds and city scenes and regular people and superheroic people, and it's just a couple of Cyberforce characters in a forest shooting at each other. Like, it's not the right way to do submissions. But for shits and giggles, I'm just gonna retrace them all, so it's time to work on part 3 here, page 3, and then I'll do page 4 later. Like this face here, I took this from an Adam Hughes drawing. This was Voodoo in the X-Men Wildcats crossover. And this body of Ripclaw looks just weird. But anyway, the redraws look fun, you know. I'd kind of like to see these inked up. I thought about offering up to see if people want to practice inking on them just to see what it would look like. One of these days when I have nothing else to do, maybe I will, but I kind of like the way they look penciled. But anyway, I'm going to set those aside. Getting out a fresh sheet of Bristol. I got this booklet of the blue line, pre-ruled Strathmore board with the blue lines on them. But I've learned that I hate this shit because I hate trying to clean that shit out of it once I scan it. It's a huge pain in the ass to make it disappear. And I'm like, I just use blank pages anymore and just rule in my own borders. It just makes cleanup so much easier. And you know, when you're having a good time, you don't want to be messing with cleanup for too long after the fact. Am I right, fellas? Fuck. Hey, I'm going to trace my own pages. And away we'll go. Let's see what this looks like. Use them for my card set. Yeah. All right. New page on top of old page. The old pages I use too are like 14 by 17, so they're wider, something like that. I don't know why I did that. All right. Light box. Got to get it out for the third time. That Blue Line Bristol paper was available at my arts and crafts stores. There's Michael's and a local one called Hobby Lobby, and they both had them. But I just don't get them anymore. They, yeah, it's just a Strathmore Bristol. There's 24 sheets, and it's just pre-ruled Blue Line board. It's got, you know, borders and stuff and live area and all that shit, but I hate trying to clean that shit up out of the art. It just drives me nuts. And then even times where I thought for sure I had it all cleaned up, nope, I did not. Wrong fucking button. I don't want that on, I want this on. Google dropping out the blue lines while I'm scanning. It's built in to be easy. I just need to correct the settings. I could do that. Maybe I should do that. But I just like using blank pages. At this point, I'm just used to that. There we go. Ginger Bear, what's up, dude? Ginger Bear, I ordered my copy of that Youngblood #1. I had to do it. The pages you showed me, I'm like, oh my god. This is going to be a whole awesome episode where I'm going to be beside myself with how ridiculous this shit is. So, we will see when it comes in. I actually just filmed last night. Let me find it here. I did the entire Extreme Sacrifice collection. And I was like, you know what? I can get through this entire book because there's so much fucking filler of nonsense and bad art and stupidity that we don't need to waste any time on this. And then when I was digging through my books and a bunch of stuff that people sent me, look at this one I found. From the National Maritime Center, Captain Nauticus and the Ocean Force. Special limited edition. The frickin' National Maritime Center back in '94 made a comic book about a bunch of dudes that turned into like whales and dolphins and shit. And I am not joking. Let's see. Yeah. Captain Nauticus and the Ocean Force. There's a 10-year-old kid named Zach, and there's a girl named Moray, and a girl named Wave, and a guy named Sting, and a guy named Orc. And then, of course, there's Captain Nauticus. Like, this is beyond stupid. Like, I guess it depends on what their intent was at the time, and I think the intent was, being in '94, the National Maritime Institute, somebody was probably a comic fan and said, hey, the comics industry is blowing up. We could make a comic book, but make it about fish. And we could sell a bunch of titles and get the word out about how awesome fish are. Yeah, see, Dan Goodwin, we got to get the early 90s comic boom, maritime folk. Yeah, hoping kids will buy them in the Nautical Center's visitor store. Probably. I'm like, this is just hilarious. So I'm kind of like, my instinct is to make fun of it, but if they did it with like good intentions, I don't want to shit on anybody for like, we like fish and somebody likes comic books, but it also kind of reeks of, you know, cash in. I don't know, that'll come up somewhere. Chuck Lee, did you and your brother learn how to draw from copying from comics and how to draw comics the Marvel way? Basically, I mean, who that draws comics doesn't learn from drawing or copying comics, at least on some level? I mean, I'd have to imagine that's everyone starts out that way. Because it's like if you like comics, you want to copy that stuff. And then, yeah, I had the How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way. I still have that same copy. And a lot of the lessons I still kind of keep in mind and utilize to this day. I mean, it has legitimate, valuable stuff. Obviously, of course. My younger brother, John, he would say that he learned from me. He says that I taught him how to draw. Who's the artist? I looked at the creative teams and I didn't recognize anybody. Let's see if there's even a credits page somewhere here.
Thank you so much for checking out this video.
Jesus, I don't even see credits. Unless I'm blind. I think somebody fucked up. Off with the commercial. Yeah, the first 4 issues of Wetworks. Art is great, but Mr. Choi, I can't believe the amount of work that guy got. I mean, I get obviously he was Jim Lee's best friend, and he wrote a lot of stuff, and he wrote a lot of words, but you know what? There's no credits in this book anywhere. No writer, no artist, no inker, no colorist. That's actually hilarious. I mean, if I drew this book, I would be screaming, put my name in it. But so it makes me wonder if they had like a technical reason to not do it. No credits in it anywhere. That's terrible. Huh. Look, the hero, like, he's jumping at you out of a splash of water and there's a freaking, what, like a seal? Yeah, Dan, that's why you're curious. They don't understand comics. That's why it's missing. Interesting, in the first issue of Wetworks, there's no credits? Really? I don't remember that at all. They didn't want their names associated in the book, Ryan. Probably. That's interesting in Wetworks. I never knew that. makes me, like, I've looked through that first issue 100 times, but somehow I missed that. It's a good point, Ginger Bear. That could be it. Google it, right? Google everything. Blasphemy. Oh, you found it. Okay. Yeah, I do remember the information about Protasio talking about his sister. Um, I remember that whole situation, and I was actually shocked at the fan base bitching and moaning that it was so late when Protasio had said that he took time off because his sister died. And for me, I'm like, that's all I need to hear? Go take care of your family, please. You know, when you're ready, I'll be here to get your book. But I remember so much of the fan base was so pissy about it. Like, it made me mad. Go dark for a second. I had to check the settings. Yeah, it's funny. I take the phone and I just pull the drop down screen to check the battery level, and it just like shuts off. Like, that's stupid. So, every time I play music, I get within a day an email saying that it's it's a copyright infringement, meaning that I can't monetize it and it doesn't affect my channel. They say it's not a copyright strike, it doesn't affect your channel, but either the music I listen to is doing revenue sharing with the people who own it, or I just can't monetize it. And in a few instances, because of the ownership of it, they block it in certain territories. But it's never a copyright strike that fucks with my channel. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing it. But I don't make any money from rewatches of my live stream, so I'm not like worried about monetization of the live stream after the fact. So I just like, all right, I get them every time, an email saying the, you know, copyright, whatever, infraction or infringement. So you can't monetize it. But it always says this does not affect your channel. It's not a copyright strike. So I'm like, okay, great. As long as I can listen to shit that I want to, I don't give a piss. Yeah, you should be able to get away with it, Jason, because like I said, they're just like, yeah, you can't make money off it, but it's fine. And I'm like, then make ad revenue sharing for the people who own it. I don't care. I'm listening to their music, sure. So, share the revenue with them, but just let me listen to it. Like, we're spreading the love of the music. But I've been doing it for like a year and a half, and it's never been an issue. So I was kind of worried about it at first, but I am not worried about it in the slightest anymore. Yeah, give them revenue. Yeah, we're just sharing your music. So lighten up. Okay. Yeah, you gotta have 1,000 subscribers anyway, so I actually could have monetized my channel a lot sooner than I actually did. I just didn't think that I didn't know anything about it, so I didn't look into it. And once I finally did, I was like, oh, I could have done this a long time ago. Well, I guess I better figure it out. It was kind of a pain in the ass to figure out. It was not easy. But I eventually did. I remember the first time I saw any money drop into my, my account, or not my account, but the app, and it was like 16 cents. You made 16 cents yesterday. I was like, all right, well, 16 cents. Here we go. I don't know, Ginger Bear. You keep posting stuff for Liefeld to like, and maybe he'll mention it, and then you'll pick up and you'll take off. I'll be sitting out here going, you son of a bitch. I mean, you deserve it because you're really good. $0.16 is kind of cool. It's like framing your first dollar of your business, right? Liefeld hires you, then he sees he streams with me, and then fires you instantly. Wouldn't that be just how it would go? It's like, yeah, I saw that, and then I saw that you streamed with this other guy, so I looked at his channel, and he does nothing but talk shit on me, so fuck you both. Like, well, I've been learning a lot of lessons this week. Guess that's another one. But you know what, for real, I can't be a hypocrite. I'm not going to be silenced. No one asked me this, so I'm not bringing it up to argue the point, but I'm just like, I've thought about this, like in Fantasyland, what if Liefeld did reach out? But then he gets pissed off because he sees the stuff that I've talked about on his books. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to be silenced or be hypocritical and be suddenly his best friend just for the prospect of getting work. Like no. I said what I said. I said it. I meant it. I stole my mama's credit. Yeah, you don't want to either, but then if he offered you work, your 20-year-old self that wanted to get hired by Image so bad says, okay, I'm hiding all the bad stuff I said about him so he can't find out. Yeah, it's the truth, but even if that did happen, I could just ride the hype of, you know, he was going to hire me, but then he didn't, and that would kind of put a spotlight on you and get more eyes on your work just anyway based on that. I'm like, all right, I'll take that. Mark, Liefeld would never hire you for anything, so these are fantasy scenarios you never have. Oh yeah, Jason, I remember you. I saw that like the rough layout of the page where. That's funny. I was drawing dicks earlier too. You know you've reached a certain special level when you're drawing dude dicks in your comic. You're like, this has to be here. Like, and I'm not being a hypocrite. I'm not just drawing like hot naked girls. I'm drawing naked dudes too, so I don't want to hear it. Anybody. The taxi driver moment. That's awesome, man. So we want the severed appendages to have their own little adventures, just the appendages themselves. They're like crawling around like worms or something like that, trying to find their way back to their owners. We should do like little short 2-page backup stories in each of our books, and they cross over with each other. So if you want to get the finished, it'll start in one book and then end in another book. And if they want to get the full story, they got to buy both books. We can pull that like crossover bullshit nonsense. If you want to get the whole story, you got to buy both books. Like a buddy cop movie. Mark's over here saying, what the fuck? It's not a buddy cop, it's a buddy cock. It's a buddy cock movie. I'm telling you, these are brilliant money-making ideas. Isn't this the kind of shit that MTV would put on liquid television back in the day? Yeah, what if it becomes a big hit? It could become a big hit, but like you said, we'll still be known as those guys. Have you seen the comic by Those Guys? Yeah, we'll use like the maritime guys approach. Just don't put your names on it. It'll just be referred to as the Dick Bros, but there'll be no names attached to it. Did you get the new book from the Dick Bros? Oh, I didn't know there was a new issue out. Yeah, you know what happens in it? Gen Active? I've heard of it, but I don't know anything about it. My mommy would be so disappointed in me if she saw the ridiculous shit that I was talking about doing, but her baby boy's got to make a living somehow. And if I have to make my living by doing a team-up of severed superhero dicks going on cross-country adventures, then damn it, it's my prerogative. Wheels Protasio did it. No blacks or shadows, very light outline art and wacky, stretchy proportions. You know, he did some weird experimental art. There was a reboot of Stormwatch, for anybody that remembers, and he did this open line thing with no heavy shadows, which was like his gig. That was his whole, like one of his big things that he would do is heavy shadows, but it was a very open line thing. It was written by that guy, that writer, Micah Ian Wright, who got busted for like saying that he served in the military, and he actually did not at all, and he was like blacklisted from everything. So he suddenly vanished. It was kind of an interesting series. I kind of liked the comic, but Protasio's work was weird. It was different. It wasn't bad, but I don't know that I liked it better. Man, I can't wait for Richard Friend to get back on his Blaster Kid thing. The art he'd been sharing for that was so good. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened. I remember hearing that he had some personal issues come up, like his dad was sick or something like that, and so I wondered if he had to take on some commission work to pay bills. But the work he was posting looked incredible. Like I can't wait to get this. So, who knows? Yeah, the panels he shared, the pages, like, this is like an artist who, he's not just an inker, because some inker, like, an inker has to be, a good inker has to be able to draw. Like, I don't know if this is going to be blasphemy to say, but like, Scott Williams can certainly draw, right? But his style looks very much like Jim Lee, but not a fraction as good as Jim Lee. So, you know, it's not anything that I would want to necessarily pick up. But Richard Friend's stuff had like such an astounding level of like incredible rendering and detail. I'm like, this is amazing. You're like, this will be remembered forever if he could just, you know, get it out. And yes, by the way, this is the E.T. soundtrack. Remember when movies were magical? Mark, you're trying to draw an Asian face again, looking straight up. Those low-angled shots, right? If that's what you're talking about, where the face is tilted back, you're looking under the chin, seeing the bottom of the nose. It's not impossible, obviously, but that it is not easy. And I go track down my favorite artists and see how they do it. I'm like, look how easy they did it. I look at how Mark Silvestri does it, and I'm like, I understand everything he did here. I can do this. And then you sit down, you try and go do it. I'm like, no, I most certainly cannot. Yeah, if you look up Richard Friend and his Blaster Kids stuff, good lord. Speaking of when movies were magical, I watched the original Jurassic Park last night for the first time in years. Hell, even my kids kind of stopped what they were doing and watched the majority of it. And I'm like, this is a great movie. And it's like, I knew it was a good movie, but it's before they ran the idea into the ground with, what, movies 4 and 5, and what are they on now? They're doing 6. It's like, how many times does this concept about monster dinosaurs work before it just becomes like, I ain't interested? Part 2 is okay. 3 I only ever saw one time and never wanted to revisit it. But yeah, the first Jurassic Park, watching it with my boys, and they were kind of into it. I kind of like the second Jurassic Park movie because it's still Spielberg and it's still kind of directly, specifically connected. It's like, what, weeks or months after the first one, so I kind of like that one. There's a couple scenes in the jungle when they're there at the beginning that are pretty exciting. And then, you know, the chase through the jungle. That scene where that science vehicle truck thing is getting pushed over the cliff by the two T-Rexes. That's intense scene. Like that is peak like Spielberg action drama. I think that's great. And then of course the big whole scene with the T-Rex all drugged up rampaging through the city. That one was a lot of fun. But like I said, I saw 3 and I'm like, all right. The only thing I remember about part 3 is there was a pterodactyl or a pteranodon or whatever the hell they're called. It was like on a bridge walking towards Alan Grant or something. That's all I remember. You like, let's see. You like the third better than the second. Interesting. William H. Macy, I've always liked him. D. Black, you like the movie soundtracks too? Yeah. You know, John Williams, like, is there any okay, I'm not asking the question. I know the answer. There's no composer that's made music that's touched as many lives as John Williams. And he's old. It's going to suck when he passes, but man, I mean, when you think about the music he's made, let's think about it. Indiana Jones, Star Wars, Superman, E.T., Close Encounters, Jaws. What have I missed? Like the big ones. Like that is like a composer is happy, I would imagine, to like make one score that resonates with everybody. I even like the Hook soundtrack, like the music to Hook, even though Spielberg kind of hates that movie. Police Academy? I don't know about that. I mean, are you joking? I don't know. If it is, that'd be shocking to me, because really? Oh, here we go. Google it. Yeah. You can say that about any John Williams score, though. You know, Indiana Jones, Star Wars, Superman, E.T., but Superman, I mean, that score, the theme literally says Superman. You know, it's da 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 dun 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 da 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 dun 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 dun. It's like Superman. Dun 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 dun. And it's kind of ruined all Superman music for me forever, because if it's not that theme, it doesn't sound like Superman. I didn't care for the last guy that was Superman, whoever the fuck that guy was, the Zack Snyder films, the music for the Superman at first, but I've actually learned to appreciate it. It's pretty damn good. The landfill game, right? D Black says, I have a great memory. I either learn or relearn things listening to you. Well, thanks, man. Yeah, I rewatched the original Superman not too long ago. Commercials. The part that is like my favorite, and I especially like watching people when they see it for the first time, is when Lois Lane dies. Like that horrific like car tumbling into the dirt, and she's being compressed and crushed, and Superman, he just couldn't get there because he's got to save the world. He has to be everywhere for everyone else, but he can't be there for everyone. And watching her get crushed is horrifying. But then when Superman shows up, you all know the scene where he rips the door off, he gently pulls her out, he's crying, he gives her a soft kiss, and then it just pans away. It's soft and sad, and then it's like that rage moment where he screams to the sky. This is like the anger of a god unleashed, and who the hell knows what he could do. He could obliterate the planet in his rage. But through the power of his passion, he literally turns back time to save the life of the woman he loves. Like it's so operatic and epic. Like I get emotional just thinking about it. It was so powerful. That scream that Christopher Reeve did into the sky. It's like intent, like, oh my God, this guy's gonna, what is he gonna do? He could kill us all. Yeah, Christopher Reeve. And then, of course, just watching him in that scene in that same movie where he had just taken Lois out flying, and she did that ridiculous inner monologue poem. Can you read my mind? But when he's like, Lois, there's something I have to tell you. And he takes off his glasses and he stands up straight. And he smiles and he gets his physical like composure and his confidence back. And he stands there and he's fucking Superman. Just in that like dark suit. But then he reconsiders, like, I can't do this. So he puts the glasses back on, hunches over a little bit and changes his mannerisms, and he's Clark Kent. And it's like a completely different guy. It works so well. I can't believe that they actually tried that and it actually worked as well as it did. It's so good. Even in like the third one, the first one, the Richard Donner, the first Superman movie. You know, I've never seen the Richard Donner cut of Superman 2, but from what I've heard, I don't want to. I don't care that, I mean, I do care that Richard Donner was kind of kicked out and replaced and somebody else refilmed it and fucked with it. The one that I watched is the one that I like. But, son of a bitch. Even the third movie, that's terrible, but the parts where he's infected by that like fucked up version of the kryptonite, where it doesn't kill him, but it like removes his moral center or whatever. Like his costume gets dirty. He grows a 3 o'clock shadow. He's tortured. He's drunk. He's acting weird. He's in that bar flicking peanuts at the bar, blowing up bottles, using his heat vision to melt the mirror, just to warp it. It doesn't explode or shatter. It just warps. And then that the part where like it doesn't make any sense why, but like Superman and Clark Kent separate magically in the garbage dump and they fight each other. Like, that shit was so good. That movie was garbage compared to the others, but those scenes, because of Christopher Reeve, are so good. Yeah, the lady getting sucked into the machine and converted into a robot, it terrified me. Yes, yes. That frightening. There's not much worthy of remembrance in part four, unfortunately. That's kind of unfortunate, except that Christopher Reeve is always good. But yeah, even in part three, that was dumb. Well, I gotta say, it wasn't. I don't hate it. I actually will watch it and enjoy it, but it's just not good compared to the others. But yeah, those scenes from Christopher Reeve with like drunk Superman, so good. And I have a hard time accepting any other version of Krypton beyond the like the crystal shit. Like, I remember watching that Man of Steel with whatever the fuck that actor's name and Russell Crowe as Jor-El. I'm like, I don't like this. It's just a sci-fi world. It's just another sci-fi world where they're riding avatar dragons around. I'm like, I like the original Richard Donner movie version that had weird, completely alien technology. And I know this is a me problem. Um, and even though Gene Hackman wasn't, I don't think, like, necessarily the best version of Lex Luthor, he's certainly good and memorable, and it sucks that he died the way that he did and all this weird shit going on with him. It's kind of a bummer, but yeah, Gene Hackman, man. The greatest criminal mind of our time. Land. It's the only thing they're not making any more of. It's all about Otis. Master Dragon, what's the thoughts on Godzilla? I've actually been enjoying the recent incarnations. I actually saw that Godzilla Kong, the most recent one. I took my boys to see it twice in the theater. It's kind of dumb, but it's enjoyable as hell. Bump. All right. I think I've traced off as much as I'm going to do this round on this page. Let's get rid of this.
Long day on the road. You're scavenging for roadside records. Pizza.
Well, here's what I did as far as my tracing of the old page so far. So, yeah, it's coming along. Laser blasts and rip claw ripping a guy's guts out. A song ended the strip. I actually need to. I gotta go spend a little time with my boys out there. They were kind of watching their own dumb shut up stuff on TV, but yeah, these are fun to do. It's kind of a fun like fill-in thing. Oh, you know what? This music right here, I'm going to back it up. For the General Zod, like that drum beat, so creepy. All right, well, anyway, yeah, I'm going to shut her down. Quick kind of recap at the ones I was working on earlier in the stream. The actual real comic book. Basically finished this page up, and this one's basically finished up. Yeah, good times. Yeah, thanks, Ginger. I trying to do my best. Anyway, all right, guys. Catch you all next time.